Namaste. So last time we were going along the road with Paraśurāma, and he is lamenting the evils of material existence. And so let's pick up where we left off last time. He's talking about wealth. He says, the animals are more fortunate than human beings because they are mentally peaceful by engaging themselves in acquiring only that much food enough to satisfy their hunger, and that too only when they are hungry. Those animals, without hoarding, sleep peacefully. So yes, this is the truth, that human beings hoard things. That's why the whole world is in trouble now. Human beings have taken much, much more than they need from the earth. And so the earth is being destroyed, used up. The insects, this is the latest report now, the insects are disappearing. Without insects, humans can't live because they're responsible for soil health, pollination, and pest control, and so many other things. So you see, by short-sighted greed, human beings are destroying the environment that they depend on for their health. Really, people are so stupid. Alas, pitiable is slavery to desires, which always brings pain, which are insatiable by any means practiced lifelong. Even after acquiring the entire wealth of the world, consisting of money, material, cattle, women, and so on, a person cannot be free from worries even for a moment. Though possessing all wealth, prosperity, and sovereignty, people caught by desires are sorrowful. Money, indeed, is the root cause for sorrow and causes continuous fear. So we see this, If you've ever met a rich person, they're always in anxiety. They're always thinking and gnawing on different worries, They're always caught up in anxiety about their wealth. Who's going to cheat them? Who's going to try to take it away from them? Who is going to maybe even kill them to get their wealth? And Paraśurāma goes into this. People acquire wealth through continuous physical and mental difficulties. Once they become rich, even friends turn enemies. One's own son, beloved wife, mother, father, dear friend, and all look upon these people with hate and suspicion like a crow. It's said in the I Ching that because the force of nature is to lift up what is low and bring down what is high, to empty what is full and fill what is empty. So when a person acquires too much wealth, people around them try to bring them down. This is just the way of nature. It can't be helped. Dear children, wife, and others, pray for the death of this rich person, so they can inherit all the money. Hence, what indeed is the joy in money that is equal to one's own death? Even then, the foolish person, did I get that? Yeah. The foolish person ignorantly desires such wealth, by which he always strives to protect his family, consisting of wife, son, and so on, but faces many calamities by unprofitably clinging to it. A person acts with the belief that his wife, son, and so on belong to him. Without that belief, there will not be the smallest of relationship. So this is the way of family life. He's thinking, this is my wife, this is my house, these are my kids, this is my money, my business, my this, my that. Of course, it's all delusion, because as soon as you leave this body, it's all finished. It gets distributed to others, or destroyed, lost. So what use, really, what value is this wealth that you can't take with you? Acts done for gaining money will end up in great grief. Even those with long partnership will meet with bereavement. Thus, in this world, having been together with love till separation, persons will come to grief immensely from bereavement of one of them. Such is the result of companionship, which always ends up in contrary result. I remember when I was a guru and I had these so-called disciples, and they weren't listening. They couldn't really understand what I was teaching. They were there because we had good food, we had a nice place to stay, it was cheap, and, relatively good company. But then as we got more popular and we got more money and so on, the sharks started circling. Suddenly, these disciples developed all kinds of ambitions. And when I saw it happening, I immediately stopped the whole thing. And they were so angry at me, they created a big scandal, a huge lie, a whole story that they just made up out of nothing. And so this is what happens in partnerships. And we see it in the business world. Oh my God. A couple of guys will found a company and it's a little bit successful, and then they'll have a falling out, and the next thing you know, they're enemies, fighting each other in court and stuff like this. It's horrible. And what it does to the heart. I mean, this is the worst part. Those people that you think are friends, those people you think are family members, will turn around and stab you in the back over money. Oh, what kind of family is that? What kind of friendship is that? What kind of love is that? Actually, in this world, there is no love. That's a fact. Only the spiritual master and God or goddess actually loves you. Nobody else really does. Get used to it. Human beings thoughtlessly associate themselves with family till the end. Thus, householders foolishly think that the association is permanent. Always interested in their family, they come to great grief in the end, because everybody has to die. The great drawback with money and men is their fickleness, loss of good qualities which are difficult to be warded off. By this attachment, all good qualities will vanish completely. One who desires to be happy should never have attachment. Everything is pervaded by the fear of powerful death. That's why I'm a hermit. I live alone. I don't have any companion, and I don't want any companion. Because as soon as you become attached to someone and there's some disturbance in the relationship, then, so much suffering, so much disappointment, so much sadness and anger. And after going through it in this life so many times, I'm just done with it. I'm like, who needs this? So I agree with Paraśurāma. Wealth, residence, wife, and heaven are all the results of one's action. Therefore, one should not aspire for any of these that give grief and are caught by death. One should always long for protection by which he will not grieve. I shall go to the great sage Dattatreya, who gives happiness. So this is the thing. See, that protection which does not give grief is only available from Guru. It's not available from anybody else. And Guru has to be a real Guru, a realized Guru. Someone who is finished with this material world, who realizes its falsity, who has seen through all the illusions, who is tired of the mind, who is sick and tired of the body and all of its problems, the attachments, the betrayals. I mean, my own family, my grandmother and maternal grand uncle and other relatives cheated me out of my inheritance from my grandfather. They did a whole legal trip, very complicated. And the minister of the church was involved. The family doctor was involved. Oh, it was horrible. And when I grew up a little bit and I realized what happened, oh man, I walked out the door and I never came back. See, this family attachment, this is the root of all suffering. And this is baggage that people drag along with them throughout their whole lives. And it causes nothing but grief. When I first came to Tiruvannamalai about 2.5 years ago, I was renting a house from a family, and the family lived next door. And oh my God, every week it was a new episode of the soap opera. So-and-so is sick. So-and-so is broke. So-and-so got caught cheating on his wife. So-and-so is in trouble here. So-and-so this, so-and-so that. All these family members, And Indian families are huge. So there was always some drama going on. Always some suffering. Always some anxiety. Even though these people can tell you the philosophy, they can't realize it because of their family attachment. And this is the case all over India. I've seen it again and again and again. If you lose your family, if you get kicked out by your family, if you are disgraced or lose your reputation and your family rejects you, take it as a blessing. It's the best thing that could happen to you because it frees you to walk the path of self-realization without any interference. So this should be our prayer, actually. God, please take away my family attachment. Please take away my attachment to money and business. Please take away my attachment to position and honor and titles and all this nonsense. This is not what we're here for. Because these things will give pain in this life and they lead to a lower birth in the next life. So don't keep them. Throw them away. When I realized that my reputation, because I was a senior disciple of my Adi Guru, my reputation was the thing that was bringing people to me and causing them to become attached to me and seek me out as a guru and so on. So I did everything I could to destroy my reputation. And it worked. Now nobody bugs me about, let me be your disciple and all this stuff. It's great. I'm so thankful. And I'm really, really thankful to my enemies who spread all the bad news and all the dirt, including the stuff that they made up and even stuff that I made up. And by doing that, they took away all my bad karma. And now, of course, they have to experience it. But, oh well, nobody asked them. They volunteered. So, actually, my enemies have been more faithful than my friends. This is the ironic part. My friends and family, they're long gone. Because I left my good-paying job in New York and I went out to California, became a hippie, and then I embraced a Vedic guru and became a disciple and went to India. That was the end. That was it. My family was done with me. Can you imagine that? And yet they say that family is forever. That once your family, that's always going to be there. No, it's not. No. Ultimately, we all have to die. And before that, if we're lucky, we get rid of this family attachment. Otherwise, we're just going to create another body in the same kind of situation and suffer again and again and again. Better to become a sadhu. Better to live alone. Better to wander all over the world anonymously and just do your mantra, do your sadhana, and leave all this stuff behind, like Paraśurāma. See, actually, he's graduating from dvaita-vāda to Viśiṣṭādvaita-vāda by approaching Dattatreya. And in the next episode, we're going to hear how he meets his guru. Om Tat Sat. Aum Harihi Aum.